Now, in this patient, what we have to learn from her is that it's extremely critical that you get the patient's personal perception of protrusion. When we look at Janice, actually Janice is not a very, very full girl. So when we look at the general, the only problem that we see is the mild crowding on the cuspid. They look very ugly, that's her chief complaint. Okay, they look very ugly, that's her chief complaint. But when you look at the molar malocclusion, can you see that the molar malocclusion is not that bad? When we see the molar malocclusion, we have a tiny bit of class 2, tiny bit, okay? About a couple of millimeters on the right, 1 millimeter the most on the left, okay, so very minor. But we do have cuspid class 2. Now, the cuspids are much more class 2 because they are blocked out, vertically displaced, and inclined mesially. That means that when we align the cuspid properly with the long axis, the cuspid is going to come a little bit much more down. Okay? Now, in this case, we are going to make a major error, an error that is important not to make. Okay? Let me open the case. Oh, I need one number, 979, okay. So when we looked at her, okay, when we looked at her, the error that we're going to make is going to be here. In this patient, we don't have here the lateral cleft, but if we see the lateral cleft, she is already quite advanced with her growth stage. Female year-old girls, very often they are very close to the end of their growth if they are not already finished with the growth. So in this case, we're going to underestimate that. And we are going to consider that maybe we can improve this by dental distalization. So this is the case that we use to teach cervical headgear. That under no circumstances this is a cervical headgear case. Because the first thing that we have to check when we're going to be planning on cervical headgear is, do you have growth reminding? And in this case the answer is no. And do you have upper crowding, posterior crowding? And in this case the answer is yes. Now what do we mean by posterior crowding? Posterior crowding is when you have 6, 7, 8, and tuberosity, and the distance from the 6 distal of the 6 to the tuberosity do not allow the distalization. I will tell you that we don't need to calculate, but if you see a 7 and you see an 8 that is a little bit crooked, you know already that there is absolutely no way you can distalize this case. Okay, because we had posterior crowding. Another major error that we're going to do in this case is going to be not ask the patient about her personal perception of protrusion. So we are going to tell the treatment as a non-extraction, because for us it was a non-extraction, but unfortunately for the patient the protrusion was a real issue. So in the middle of the treatment, we to change our mind from non-extraction to extraction. Now, if we would have communicated better with the patient, we could have let the patient know that the moment we were aligning those upper incisors, because of the crowding of the cascade, incisors were going to come forward. Okay, we're going to go a little bit forward. Now, they were going to go at least 2 to 3 millimeters forward. So we were going to gain this support. And the posterior class 2 was very minimal, but we were going to need a minimal amount of class 2 elastics to correct it. That means that the lower incisors were also going to advance. If we would have communicated better with the patient and we would have understood that she was feeling too full, then we go directly for the extraction. And here comes again what I told you. If we consider that the patient is not full, but the patient considers herself full, she is full. Because you are not going to be able to limit incisor advancement enough not to change her profile. So her profile is going to be slightly fuller. Now again, you are Asian and you have to become more aware that your cases will require much more often extraction than my cases. Because Caucasian profiles, they tolerate the proclimation much better. They benefit from the proclimation on extraction much more. As Asians, again, as sometimes you prefer to look more flat, then you will go much more often for extraction. So be aware that we have to ask the patient, what's your personal perception? Do you like what you see? Look, the case can very easily be treated on extraction, but we have to tolerate a little bit of advancement. Are you okay with that? Yes or no? And it's very important that we find out on time, because the bracket prescription for an extraction case is completely different than the bracket prescription for a non-extraction case. In a non-extraction case, you will go for limiting the incisor advancement to try to contain the advancement. In a non-extraction case, we don't want the incisor, we try to expand with expanded wires, okay, limit the advancement with torque restriction. Sometimes we might try to limit the advancement with a very minor little bit of distalization. So we're going to do a lot of things trying to limit the incisor advancement. And if we go for extraction, then instead of a negative torque restriction to limit advancement, we have to get a positive torque restriction. And the positive torque restrictions in all the ramps, what we do is the tipping is stopped at a certain point, and from then on, all the movement is body movement backwards. If we use the negative restriction for the extraction, then all the exposure is going to be with tipping, nothing with body movement. Because the negative torque, they limit the advancement, but they will not limit the recombination. And as the tipping is the easiest movement, that's the only movement we are going to get. Okay, so if you change in the middle of your treatment and you select the special bracket, we will have to manage that in a different way. So we are going to learn that together in seminar 4. Okay? But the important is that in first consultation you really get an idea of what the patient wants. So later we are going to propose the best approach. Had we known that her issue was the fullness, then this was 100% an extraction case, because the patient was not going to tolerate the advancement. Now, most incisors are a little bit proclined. They are going to become a tiny bit much more proclined. Okay? There is no growth left, so we cannot correct the class 2 by mandibular advancement, natural mandibular advancement, because there is no more growth left. There is posterior crowding, so we cannot bend and distalize. Okay? So if patients don't want to tolerate a little bit of extra advancement, and she didn't want it, even though her profile was kind of gray, was not really too full, then the case is an okay?
ครับวันนี้ก็เป็นเคสอีกเคสหนึ่งนะครับที่เรามาดูในแง่ของการที่ว่าการ เป็นเคสที่เป็น extraction หรือเป็น non-extraction หรือไม่นะครับถึงสำหรับในการที่เราก็มาดูในเชิงคอมเพลนนะครับของคนไข้ว่ามีลักษณะซึ่งเป็นฟันซอนเกนครับเป็นคราวเลยของทีนะครับสำหรับในลักษณะของการที่มี protrusion นั้นก็คือมันไม่มีความคิดเห็นนะครับว่ามันจะเป็นยังไงนะครับแต่ถ้าเรามาดูในภาพในช่องปากแล้วก็ดูจากตัวโมเดลแล้วนะครับเราจะเห็นว่ามันเป็นประมาณเป็นคลาส 2 นะครับต้องกับมีไฮคลาส 1ด้วยinclination นะครับของตัวฟันหน้านะครับเราเห็นว่ามันมีการซ้อนกันใช่ไหมครับถ้ามันมีการโปรไฟล์มาเราก็จะยืดออกมาดังนั้นในการที่เราจะทำเชื่อมกันในที่นี้นะครับเราต้องพิจารณาดูว่าในคนไข้นั้นๆหรือในเคสนั้นๆสามารถที่จะ tolerate กับการที่จะมีการทำ advancement ของตัวฟันหน้าทั้งหลายได้หรือไม่นะครับก็คือหมายถึงว่าถ้าสมมติเราทำอะไรแล้วก็ทำการโปรไฟล์ออกมานะครับมันจะยื่นไปกว่านั้นหรือไม่แล้วก็หรือไม่ก็ตัว encapsulation หรือพูดในลักษณะของตัวท็อปของตัวฟันแต่ละที่ตรงนั้นนะครับว่ามันจะสร้างมุมได้ดีได้สวยหรือไม่นะครับนั่นคือเป็นปัจจัยหนึ่งที่เราจะต้องเป็นมาพิจารณาดูนะครับแต่ก็ตามในการที่สมมติว่าเราจะดูว่าถ้าไม่อยากถอนใช่ไหมครับถ้า planning ว่าจะไม่ถอนฟันอันนี้เราก็มาดูนะครับว่าถ้าเราจะมีการ displacement นะครับหรือ displace ตัวโมล่าไปทางด้านในแล้วมันสามารถจะทำได้หรือไม่นะครับก็มาดูในเคสเราอีกเช่นเดียวกันนะครับทางด้านหลังนะครับฟัน posterior มันก็ดูเหมือนว่ามันมีตัว crowding ด้วยนะครับก็อันนั้นก็อาจจะเป็นการยากนิดนึงในการที่เราจะทำการ display ไปนะครับฉะนั้นถ้ามาดูแล้วนะครับดูจากภาพรวมนี้แล้วก็มันก็แนวโน้มนะครับว่าในเคสนี้มันก็ในเคสนี้ก็ควรจะมีการเป็นเคสซึ่งเป็น extraction นะครับ
Okay, so the findings that we have for this case is the patient is class 2. Okay, patient is class 2. We have minor class 2 on the molar, so we're going to know 2 mm on the right molar. We have less class 2 on the left molar, so we're going to know 1 mm on the left molar. And on the cuspid, the right cuspid is about end to end class 2. So we're going to call it 4 millimeters of class 2. And the left cuspid is a little bit less. Okay, so as the left cuspid is a little bit less, we are going to call it something close to 3 mm of class 2. Okay? So this is what we saw. The next was the functional shift, and actually this lady, of all the patients that we have, is the most perfect. We are going to learn to trace the frontal theft with this girl, and you're going to learn when you are doing the frontal theft that when we import the pictures on your memory stick, and the pictures were scanned, they scan them upside down. Actually, all the frontal thefts are flipped horizontal. Now, in the first 3 cases that we check the frontal theft, we realize because when we get the answers, all the functional shifts are towards the contrary where they are. But when we analyze Janice, we cannot really tell if the theft is okay or flipped horizontal because both numbers are exactly the same. Okay? So she is the most perfect of all the patients. So absolutely no functional shift in this case, not even 1 millimeter. Okay? When we look at the right in this case, the right is kind of average. Okay, the right is kind of average. The dentition is permanent. Okay, the dentition in this case is permanent. Then we have to see the tissue, and can you see that you can really see exactly where all the roots are? Now, for the age of this patient, the tissue is towards this. Okay, for the age of this patient, tissue is towards this. If we read thin tissue and either way case, then we know that this case is easier treated with extractions to preserve the postvision. So we can offer the two scenarios, extraction, non-extraction. Okay? On the casket is a little less, but it is considered kind of thin for her age. Now, thin tissue do not tolerate very well the advancement without risk of recession. Okay? So this was another marker telling us that maybe the extraction techniques were a good idea. The next thing was the shape of the incisors, and they look beautiful. The curved P, and can you see that we have a very moderate curved P, mild curved P? Okay. And then finally, when we're looking at the shape of the lower jaw, it was oval and perfect, no crowding at all. And all the teeth were present, including the egg. Okay? All the teeth were including the egg. Actually, in this case, it was bad news that the eggs were present. Okay? So, let's fill the data. Okay? We have no functional shift. The bite is average. The dentition is permanent. Okay. The TCU is considered to be thin both on the incisors and the casket. The shape is perfect. The curved speed moderate, and the arch was oval. Okay. We do not have obvious frostbite, and we have no lower crowding, but yes, we have upper crowd. Okay, and now I want to know how much crowding did you see? Okay, let's go to the picture so you can analyze the crowding. So here we can see okay. And if we take into account that we have to make feet a tooth more or less this size, okay, and then you have to make it fit somewhere around here. We're going to see that this is not really fit. Okay? And about the size of it. Okay? And that's all cheap. So can you see that we are occupying at least 2.5 millimeters of the central, and in the other side we also have crowding, so more or less how much crowding do you see here?
About 8.
8 is a little bit too much, okay? But I accept it. 8 is a tiny bit too much. Actually 8 is the highest I've ever got. Okay? Somebody else? It's actually going to be, let me do it here again, so you're going to see better the percentage. It's a bit less than 8, okay? It's a bit less than 8. I put this here, and now I will make it perfect. You see, on this side I don't have so much crowding. On this side I will have I don't have so much crowding. On the side I will have a little bit less. Okay. And then I have a tiny bit of overlapping on the incisor. Okay. So actually I would say that I have maybe 1 millimeter in here. Okay. 1 more here. So I would say maybe 3 on the one side and 2.5 to 3 on the other side. So I would get it down to 6. Okay. 6 is the maximum I would consider in this case. would actually say that it's somewhere between 500. Okay. So actually, when we look at the case again, to review, okay, we have the class 1 division 1, 2 mm on the right more, 1 on the left, and the right casted, this erase, the right casted was something about 4 mm, and the left casted was something about 3 mm. No functional shift, average 5, permanent dentition, okay. The tissue is thin, both in gastric and incisor. They are well formed, moderate curved speed, oval shape, no lower crowding, yes, upper crowding, okay. And actually it's going to be something between 5 to 7, okay, 8 to 10 weeks. Okay, 6 months. Okay, and there are no obvious crossings. Okay, and here I have this one of the one I was looking to show you and I could not find it. Now, here is tiny bit match here. That. And here's where we get the sound. Okay? So here was where we got the sound. Okay. 1, 2, 3, something like 4, 5, and 6. Let's see, just get up the sound. Okay? That one gives me an idea of the rotation.
นะครับอันนั้นก็ที่เราดูไว้นะครับก็เป็นคลาสรูมนะครับเป็นคลาสที่วันนะครับทางด้านขวาโมล่า2นะครับด้านซ้ายก็คือ1มิลนะครับทัชเบกก็จะเป็นทางด้านขวา4นะครับทางด้านซ้ายก็ประมาณ3มิลด้วยกันนะครับฟอร์จูเนอร์ชิปนะครับถ้าดูจากตัวทั้งโมเดลและตัวเทรลแล้วเราก็เห็นว่ามันไม่มีนะครับไบค์ก็เป็น average นะครับสำหรับตัวทิชชูนะครับเราให้ได้เป็นบิ๊กทั้งบริเวณทางด้านหน้านะครับถามว่า upper incisor formation เป็นยังไงก็ well form นะครับก็ still well moderate นะครับมาดูนิดนึงในแง่ของการที่มันมี crowding นะครับทางด้าน crowding ของตัวล่างนะฮะเราเห็นว่ามันมีการ well form ของตัว arch นะครับฉะนั้น crowding ก็ไม่มีเลยให้เป็นศูนย์ไปนะครับตัวบนมาดูนิดนึงว่า crowding เป็นยังไงนะครับ crowding เราเห็นได้ว่าในช่วงประมาณซีที่1-3นะครับกับ2-3-4แล้วนะครับมันจะมีที่มันซ้อนทับกันอยู่นะครับก็ดูอยู่ที่ประมาณ6มิลด้วยกันนะครับนั่นคือตัวเลขที่เราได้คร่าวๆจากการที่เราทำการมองจากตัวโมเดลแล้วก็ดูจากลักษณะของโปรไฟล์ใบหน้าของคนไข้นะครับจากรูปภาพหรือจากด็อกเมนต์ที่มีมาครับ
Okay, so when we are going to be talking about this case, all teeth are present, so we have no missing teeth. For the health, we don't really have also severe periodontal conditions.